Hey friends, I'm Parrihoff, and welcome to the Parrihoff Collective, where therapy, wellness, and creativity come together to help you write your own story. Hey friends, and welcome back to Therapy Thursday with Parrihoff, helping you write your own story. So today I want to talk about something that gets all of us from time to time. And if you're of a certain age, you might remember the old song, "It was just my imagination running away with me." Now, okay, I am not a singer, but I know some of y'all who aren't singers as well are already singing it. But honestly, that's what happens sometimes. Not every emotion is a fact. Not every thought is true. Not every feeling deserves a reaction. If we're not careful, our imagination, our assumptions, and our emotions can have us fighting battles that don't even exist. So today's conversation is called Just My Imagination, Managing Your Emotional Landscape. Let's start here. Your emotions are real. Anger is real. Fear is real. Anxiety, disappointment, hurt, they're all real. But real and accurate are not always the same thing. Just because you feel something doesn't automatically make it true. And that's why one of the most important questions you can learn to ask yourself is this: is this a feeling or is this a fact? Because those are not the same thing. For example, I feel rejected. Okay, what's the fact? Did someone actually reject you? Or did they simply not respond to your text yet? I feel like nobody cares about me. What's the fact? Has nobody cared? Or are you feeling lonely today? I feel like a failure. What's the fact? Did you fail at something? Or did something simply not go according to plan? I feel like they're upset with me. What's the fact? Did they tell you they were upset? Or did your imagination fill in the blanks? See, this is where many of us get into trouble. We allow feelings to become facts, and then we start reacting to conclusions we've never verified. Some of us have created entire stories in our minds. We've assigned motives, we've assumed intentions, and we've predicted outcomes. We've decided what people meant. We've convinced ourselves something is true, and then we become angry, offended, anxious, hurt, or withdrawn. Only to later discover it was just my imagination running away with me. One of the signs of emotional maturity is learning that you do not have to react to every feeling you experience. You can feel angry and choose patience. You can feel hurt and choose wisdom. You can feel anxious and choose not to panic. You can feel rejected and still choose confidence. Because feelings are indicators. They are not leaders. I'm going to say that again. Feelings are indicators. They are not leaders. They tell us something deserves attention. They do not get to make all of our decisions. Now let's talk about something I call your emotional landscape. Think of your emotional life like a piece of property. There will be storms, there will be sunshine, there will be seasons of growth, and there will be seasons of difficulty. There will be weeds that need to be removed. There will be things that require maintenance. But just because a storm shows up on your property doesn't mean the storm now owns that property. And just because anger, fear, disappointment, or anxiety show up doesn't mean they get to take over your life. You're still responsible for managing your emotional landscape. Not your spouse, not your friends, not your pastor, and not your therapist. You. And this is where accountability comes in, because many people are waiting for their emotions to change before they make a decision. But often the decision comes first. You decide to set the boundary. You decide to have the conversation. You decide to stop avoiding. You decide to heal. You decide to forgive. You decide to grow. And then eventually your emotions catch up. This is also where I need to say something that may challenge a few people. There is no amount of prayer that can substitute for a decision you refuse to make. There is no amount of fasting that can substitute for a decision you refuse to make. There is no amount of therapy that can substitute for a decision you refuse to make. There is no amount of life coaching that can substitute for a decision you refuse to make. Because eventually, growth requires participation. Eventually, healing requires action. Eventually, you have to choose. Choose differently. Choose peace, choose boundaries, choose healing, choose growth, choose better. And listen, this doesn't mean ignoring your emotions. We're not pretending they don't exist. We're not stuffing them down. We're not avoiding them. We are paying attention to them and we are learning from them, but we're not allowing them to become the CEO of our lives. So this week, I want you to practice one simple question. Is this a feeling or is this a fact? Before you react, before you quit, before you send the text, before you make the assumption, before you spiral, ask yourself, do I know this to be true, or is it just my imagination running away with me? Because your emotions are real, but they are not always reliable. You are responsible for managing your emotional landscape. Not every feeling deserves a reaction, but every feeling deserves reflection. This has been Parrihoff with the Parrihoff Project, reminding you that you always have the power to write your own story. Ta for now.